So in this video, I'm going to give you a breakdown of my Ritte Esprit. I've ridden it for about 2,000 miles now, and we're just going to go through the whole thing from the frame to each component. I already posted a longer video on my main channel that's kind of more story based, but this one's going to be kind of GC performance style. So one shot, one take, and we're just going to go in depth. I do apologize, we're not in a parking lot right now, so not really following the format exactly. Sorry about that, GC. But hopefully you all can forgive me for this hideous backdrop. But let's start with the frame. So this is the Ritte Esprit. It's their carbon race bike. Came out last year, I think around May 2023. And this is the matte raw carbon with these cool like holographic decals. So they're not just silver, which I think is really cool. They've got their little like spade here, which, you know, might look like a certain club brand. Let's see, you guys are gonna have to forgive me. This is the first video like this that I've done. So the frame, let's keep talking about the frame. This is a size large, which is basically a size 56. The funny thing about this, it is a race bike, but it's actually, the reach is shorter than my BMC road machine, which was an endurance bike. And that's one of the reasons why I picked this. I wanted something a little lighter, a little snappier, but I didn't want to be too stretched out. You'll see I do have like a couple spacers here. So, you know, it's not slammed like my BMC, but again, the reach is actually a little bit shorter, which is kind of funny. We'll talk about the handlebars and the seat post and the seat and everything in a second, but first a little more on the frame. So it is raw carbon. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it here, but you can actually see all the different bits of carbon layup. Here, there's a good spot over here that really shows it. So Ritte decided they weren't gonna put some, you know, like a superficial layer of carbon over everything. They were just gonna leave the layup basically how it is coming out of the mold, and then just put the matte finish over it. And so the result is you get all of these like cool little like carbon bits exposed. There's that logo again. The bottom bracket is a T47 threaded external bottom bracket. And if you look at the seat tube here, it's got this like really funky shape. So on the drive side, it looks like a normal seat tube, but here on the other side, you can see it starts out pretty narrow, like normal, and then just gets a lot bigger closer to the base. That's what she said. It's really chunky down here, which results in it being super stiff. Now, I haven't ridden a ton of bikes, so I don't have a lot to compare it to, but those that I have ridden, this is definitely like the stiffest bike that I've ridden. It's got a nice big thick bottom bracket area, and then the chainstays are pretty thick too, so it's pretty rigid. And when I'm just like putting down power, kicking up steep streets, this thing just like takes off, which is really cool. The nice thing, well, first here, look at these little details there on the inside of the chainstay there, and then here on the inside of the fork. Ritte in the past was known for like how cool their bikes look, and obviously they now look hideous, as you can see. But you know, I'm vain. That's one of the things I really liked about it. I worked as a designer in a previous life, just web design, so nothing like super exciting. But I do care about the way that things look, and this thing looks pretty sick. What was I talking about? Let's go back over here. Oh yeah, so like ride feel. So it's got a really thick bottom bracket area, but it is, and it's stiff, but it doesn't really, like, it's comfortable to ride. And a lot of that they contribute to like the carbon layup and how each bike in each size has a unique carbon layup. So their size extra small bike, the geometry and the layup and everything are adjusted specifically for that bike to have the same ride feel as this bike in size large. So they really kind of pay attention to all those details. It doesn't have drop seat stays. it's got the classic seat stays. So you would think that also would make it maybe more of a rough ride. But to be honest, this thing is super comfortable. I took it, my very first ride on it was like 130 miles on this route called the Circle of Doom. It was probably a dumb idea to take a brand new bike on such a big ride. But the fact was, it wasn't bad at all. My back did not die on the ride, and I had a lot of fun. So going over here to the seat tube. Hey, what's up? It's got like a normal, like a standard 27.3, 27.5. I don't know. Let me know in the comments how dumb I am. Whatever the standard seat tube size is. So I opted to get this. We'll go to the other side so you can see the logo. This seat tube from this company in the UK called Mount Zoom. And this seat tube is super light. I think it's like 130 grams. And so I was just trying to lighten this bike a little bit. I'm not a weight weenie or anything, but I was excited that it had a standard seat tube length. So I figured, or width, circumference. Oh man. Oh, I wish I could edit this. Standard seat tube size. So I got a standard seat tube. And yeah, it's been really good. Let's see. I guess I'll jump up to the seat now. So this is the S-Works Power Arc saddle. It's got carbon rails. It's carbon everything except for the padding on the top. Carla at InCycle Pasadena did an awesome bike fit for me, and she set me up on this saddle, and it is super comfy, which is really, really nice. I thought I was comfy before on the Physique and Tyres 3D printed saddle. This is way, way more comfy. So I guess my recommendation there is go get a bike fit and find out what actually works for you. Bottle cages here are from Silca. They're the Silca titanium bottle cages. I think they look pretty sick. And we'll go up now to the bars. Yeah, the bars are from this company called Other, which happens to be the same company as Ritte. They're Ritte's in-house brand, kind of like Cadex is to Giant or Reval is to Specialized. These bars are 120 millimeter. Yeah, that would not be 120 centimeters. That'd be insane. 120 millimeters long on the stem, and they are 40 centimeters wide. Why do we do centimeters here, but then millimeters here? Like, why don't we just say 400? Anyway, they're a little bit wide for me. I'd love to get like 38s. Ritte does have some 38s coming. I may go down to 110. I don't know. I'm kind of like torn on it right now. I went for a ride with EJ Trains the other day, and you know, he's a little bit bigger than me. He's got like an inch or two more on me, but you would think like CDA wise we'd have about the same amount of drag. But when we're riding next to each other in zone 2, I was doing about like 20 watts less than him, which was really good because that's my zone 2 is about 20 watts less than his zone 2. But my point is, maybe I'm stretched out and I'm low and I'm actually a little more aero, so I don't know if I want to go to a shorter stem. But Carla did recommend I go to a shorter stem, so probably should do it, right? Maybe I can even knock off some stuff there, but probably not. Let's see, let's talk about the wheels. So these are, I'm going to go to the other side now so that we can actually see details again. All right, so these wheels are also by Other. They are the only wheels that Other makes right now. They are 40 mil deep rims. I think the pair of them weigh just over 1,300 grams, which is super, super light. They've got the Sapum spokes. They do have a hook, so they are not hookless. They call it a mini hook. I'm not sure why they call it a mini hook, but it is a hook. It's not hookless. And yeah, they're pretty easy to seat. I actually put a new tire on the rear wheel yesterday, and we'll talk about that in a second because I have feelings about these tires. But as far as putting them on the wheel, super, super easy. The drivetrain is SRAM red. There are a few little changes I made to the drivetrain. So before we talk more about that, I'll talk about these rotors. They're from Gaffler. I really like them. I had them on my last bike. Literally, these are the rotors from my last bike. I think they're like 90 grams or 96 grams. which is lighter than the SRAM rotors. I know I say I'm not a weight weenie, but look, I've bought all this like lightweight stuff. I don't know why. This bike is light, but it's not like crazy light. Without pedals, but with the computer mount and the bottle cages, the frame came in at just over 7 kilos. With the pedals on it and my Wahoo computer, it comes out to like right around 7.4, which is about a half a kilo lighter than what my BMC road machine was. If you want that in pounds, you're gonna have to look it up, because again, I'm not cutting this video. I'm like a weird American YouTube cyclist where my rides are in miles and feet, but my bike is weighed in kilos. Not entirely sure why I do that. We're gonna come back to the drivetrain, but really quick, I did mention I was gonna talk about this tire, or rather these tires, the Vittoria Corsa Pros. These are 28s, but on these rims, the rims have a pretty wide internal profile. They actually inflate up to 30, which is really nice. This frame has clearance for up to 35, I believe. Talking with Elijah, who runs the brand, he recommends, 33 probably max if you're doing gravel. Ooh, let me fix that. Yeah, there we go. Just so you have a little clearance so you don't get mud stuck in there, But yeah, so these are 28s, but they inflate to 30s. They are very supple, as our mountain biking friends would say, but they're also cotton, which means they are magnets for punctures. This is the second set of Corsa Pros I've had on here in about 2,000 miles. And the number of punctures, let's just say I don't have enough fingers and toes to count the number of punctures that I've had in that time. So I've got a love-hate relationship with these tires. I love how they feel. I love how they ride. They are very fast. I hate the fact that I am running out of bacon strips and Dynaplugs to fix them. Drivetrain again is SRAM red. I've got the 4633 chainring up here, and then I actually have a SRAM Force cassette on here. It's the 10 to 33 cassette. Having that 3333, so the 33 inner chainring and the 33 biggest cog on the cassette, is really nice when I'm doing steep streets. But I will say the 4610 combo, I do wish I had a little more on the top end. I came from a 5236 on my BMC with the Shimano setup, so I do kind of miss that. You can see my crank arm is a little bit scratched up there. I did have a few drop chains when I first put this new chain on here, but I adjusted the limit screw, and then turns out I had it adjusted wrong, and now it's been fine. So haven't had issues since then. I was worried for a second. I'm like, oh no, everything everybody said about SRAM was right. But since adjusting that, I haven't had any issues, which is really nice. On the derailleur here, there is some little bling. This is a SLF Motion oversized pulley wheel, my first pulley wheel that I've ever had. It's got this cool like oil slick kind of colorway. I don't know if you can see that because the sun's right there. But I picked oil slick because it kind of matches with the decals of the bike. I thought that looked pretty cool. You can see there's kind of like little stuff on that. That's because this is a waxed chain using Silka Wax. It is fantastic, easy to clean. I love it. And yeah, I think that's about it. I've got the Nog tail light here. It's actually like upside down, but I like the fact that I can take it on and off. So if I forget to turn on the light at the start of a ride, I can like grab it from my back pocket, turn it on, and stick it back on. So that's it. That's my Ritte Esprit. If you have any questions about it, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think about it. If you think I should change anything on it. If you love it, you hate it, I don't know. And if you like this video, let me know. And I've got a gravel bike I can make one of these about too. So yeah, I guess that's the end. I'll see you guys. Bye.